All right, so we have some updates for you guys on stories that we've been tracking throughout the week. One happened over the weekend in North Sacramento on Marysville Boulevard by I-80. It was at the Rainbow Market. That's the video we've been showing day in and day out since then, where a young girl was part of an attempted kidnapping scheme that we know of right now. The woman's name, Latorian Beaver. She was the one responsible for the kidnapping. She's the one seen in the video sitting in her car. The man who's recording the video, Manny Cota, he was at the right place at the right time. He noticed that this girl was in distress, went out to question Latorian. How do you know her? What's your relationship to her? We know now that Latorian is in jail. She's waiting arraignment at 8:30 today. But people online have been asking us, commenting on our Facebook page, where the heck were the parents of that little girl?
Yeah.
She's 10 years old. She was walking by herself. What's going on?
Yeah.
And so we don't necessarily have all the answers to those questions, but we do have sound from her mother. Frances Wang from LNT spoke to her yesterday, and so I want to give you a little clip of what they talked about.
And why you trying to take the little girl, though?
So hard.
Hey, you gonna run me over, I'll tell you that shit right now. Why you trying to take the little girl, though?
I didn't know the gravity of it until I seen how many officers were surrounding my child. There's a helicopter in the air. My child sitting on the ground crying. She looked like she's seen a ghost. When he walked over there and he took action, he could have put himself in harm's way. So he took a huge leap of faith and he went with his gut instinct. She could very well be gone, and it could have been a whole nother story that we're covering. So have that talk. You know what I mean? I have had that talk with her before. If anyone ever touches you, tries to do anything, you scream, you kick, you fight. You do not just let that happen. Stick with the motto. It takes a village to raise a child. You can't just see something like that and turn the other cheek.
Conversation that they had just yesterday.
Unbelievable.
And something that a lot of people have brought up, and I want to ask you guys, would you feel comfortable letting your 10-year-old walk that great of a distance in that neighborhood by him or herself? That's a question that a lot of parents are going to have to ask themselves these days, and especially at a time when it seems things are just even more violent than they usually are.
This is a debate that my wife and I have had through each of our children for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're robbing our kids of our innocence. When I was a child, I could walk a quarter of a mile to 7-Eleven was 1/4 mile away. I could walk innocently, pretty much sun up to sundown, as long as my mom knew where I was, when I was going to be home. My wife wouldn't let our kids walk 2 doors down without being escorted until the age of 18. I said, we live in a gated community. She said, I don't care. People are abducted every day. Have you looked online to see how many people registered or offenders are within a 1/4 mile of our house?
I like her.
And I said, you know, when I was a kid, we wouldn't have known that. We were no more in danger then than we are now, but yet we feel like its predators are just lurking, just waiting every moment.
It's because we hear all the news, we see all the social media posts about these violent behaviors, and so what's your first instinct as a mom, as a father? It's, like, protect my babies, don't let anything happen to them. And my mom was the same way growing up. There was nowhere that I was allowed to go where I didn't have a who, what, when, where, why list before I exited that door. And
I guess it depends on the parents, and it depends on the neighborhood, and it depends on the kid. You know, I think some kids at 10 years old have a mentality of a 4-year-old, where kids at 10 years old could have a mentality of a 14-year-old. And it depends on that relationship. So I'd hate to judge any parent right now who's watching and saying, not that you guys were, but for those watching right now and going, I let my 10-year-old walk down the street or walk to the local liquor store to pick up some hot Cheetos, whatever it may be. And I say those things because that's what I did as a kid.
You went to the liquor store?
Oh, we'd go to the liquor store.
No way.
Really?
To get hot Cheetos and some Lucas. Yeah, all the time.
That's
this
so
is like
wild.
down in SoCal.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I mean, the convenience store, maybe calling it a liquor store. It's like the local liquor store.
I was keyed in on.
I mean, there's liquor in the store, but that's what we would call it, I guess.
Right.
Down in SoCal, they're on every corner, okay?
Sure.
And we went to the mall. I remember being in La Puente as a kid. This is a SoCal city. The best neighborhood? No. You know, but it's where all my family grew up, and so they were comfortable in their own environment, you know?
Right.
And it was densely populated by the Latino American community.
Yeah.
And so we'd walk to the mall and we'd go take star shots. I mean, I have memories walking everywhere, rollerblading everywhere.
You felt like the community had your back to a certain extent.
Yeah, so I thought nothing ever happened to us.
I get that. And when you're part of a community, like my dad grew up in North Philadelphia, which if you've never been there is definitely an urban environment. It's fraught with a lot of danger, but my dad is like the dude. And so nobody would ever harm him. And so he would always say to me, you're fine in North Philly. You can go anywhere you want. But my mom was like, never, no way. She grew up in Center City, not happening. And I think it's just life experience. At 10 years old, regardless of whether she grew up in that community or not, I don't know that you're old enough to deal with a situation that she was put in.
But let's talk about this situation again, because what happened? She knew that when a man, and what we're learning new this morning is that supposedly a man had come up to her, because again, that's what we're learning when we just heard from the mother. A man had come up to her, the little girl, and somehow scared her. Didn't he summon her? And so somehow scared this little girl. So she was cognizant enough to know that this isn't right. This man who's telling me to come here, I ain't having it. So she runs inside of the store to seek help and runs into Latorian. Was that a setup? Posing a question. I don't know.
We don't know.
But Latorian forces her now in the car. So this girl, little girl, right? If you're scared of a man, you're gaining trust of, a woman says it's okay to come. So you attach yourself. But good thing that another man who had his right head
Manny Cota,
shout out to you, was wise enough to go up and make sure that that didn't happen. So at least the 10-year-old did know that when this man was saying, come here, come here, come here, she knew to go somewhere, go inside where there's a lot of people.
Exactly.
But the result of this could have been so much worse. But we know that I'm very interested in 7 minutes. We know that she is due in court, Latorian. So
Good
I don't
citizen
know.
award going to Manny.
And who knows?
Everybody step up. All the children of the world are our children.
And who knows what happens in this whole thing, right? If they find that Latorian was part of some sort of ring, Manny could be responsible for helping stop sex trafficking in this community.
I know you guys say all roads lead back to movies with me. You're like, Mark, stop talking about movies.
No.
We appreciate it.
Isn't it eerie, though, that there's a movie on the big screens right now called Traffic about a human, this exact situation takes place in the movie in Sacramento.
See, we need to get our friend on the phone, the director of this, because he was shook by a situation that happened with his daughter, isn't it?
The same. That's the inspiration for that movie was this exact scenario that happened to Deon Taylor's daughter.
Oh my gosh!
And we've been talking about this yesterday on the show. How Sacramento is second in the nation, as reported by the FBI, for sex trafficking. And Walt Gray was saying that it's the convergence of the 3 main highways that makes this a hotbed, so to speak, for sex trafficking. And we asked the question yesterday, what can we do to make things better? And some people are commenting today that it wasn't even the parents' fault, really. She said that, thank goodness, this is actually a man, Ray, thank goodness for Coda who stepped up, but they're not blaming anyone in this situation.
Right. Rosalinda Calkins, no. The way these people smooth talk kids to abduct them is something I don't believe my kids could see through at that age. I agree with you, because who knows if Manny Cota, is it Cota?
Cota.
Manny Cota was not in that situation, and this little girl gained the trust of this woman, and she was abducted, then there's proof right there that, that age, if you already don't trust this man who's been creepy, how you're going to know not to trust the woman in the situation.
Absolutely. And the comments are flying.
Jessica Downey, I don't let my kid go anywhere like that by herself, but she's only 5. I get that. I'm not waiting for that magic age to let her walk or go places. It's when she's mentally ready. Again, agree with that. Every kid's different.
Absolutely. And then the question that we have posted on the ABC 10 Facebook page is asking parents, at what age do you let your kids start doing things alone or with at least minimal parental supervision? So we're interested in hearing what you have to say about that. Did you read Rosalinda?
I do not think so. Oh, no.
Okay, so she says, see, these people aren't always the scary-looking creeps lurking in the shadows. They can seem nice and safe to go with.
Who knows?
And it's like, how do you protect your kids against those people that look like just a woman trying to help a girl out?
Nicole Clavo, Terry Lee, everywhere is dangerous. There are a lot of positive, great things happening in Del Paso Heights. This event should not define the entire community, and we hope it doesn't. Right. But talk to us more about your community. Is this something that shocks you? You know, when you saw this story pop up in the news, you're going, not in my neighborhood.
Right.
I would like to know, because I'm not too familiar with the area.
Back to you and your frequent trips to the liquor store. Daisy Arguello says, I used to walk to the store and buy cigarettes with a note, and everyone looked out for each other's kids.
A note?
I guess Mom would say, here, it sells cigarettes to my kid.
Oh, like a permission? Was she under
I guess.
That's a
back
whole
in the
different
day.
story.
This is wild.
And every community is so different. I mean, would you chase after the ice cream man? That's like a very big childhood memory of ours.
Really?
In La Puente, chasing 3 neighborhoods away. Like, please stop.
Running for blocks.
I'm telling you, those, again, hot Cheetos. I grew up on hot Cheetos, clearly.
Megan Tellis was very motivated by Cheetos and ice cream
And
as a
cran
little
raspberry
girl.
juice.
Oh, no, that actually is delicious.
Is the thing, and it helps
Really?
the temperature of the hot Cheeto. It brings it down.
Fun facts for you on a Thursday.
Yep, Kimberly Morgan, our good friend Kimberly, we know has 6 kids. 6
Yes.
daughters? 6 daughters,
6
right?
daughters, yeah.
Okay. She says, nope, with a bunch of O's. I don't even let my kids walk to Starbucks, and it's right around the corner. Helicopter parent, sorry, not sorry. And hey, you know what? That is your right. You have the right to be any kind of parent you want to be, as long as it's not harming a child, right?
Absolutely. She also put through the beginning part of a story. Kim, I want to hear the rest of this one.
Okay.
She said a gal that she met when doing her taxes says that she escaped a possible abduction as well. And she says the story is too long to type. Maybe we need to call you in.
Ooh,
And
FaceTime with Kim.
yeah, I like that. She said the story was crazy enough to send chills down your spine. So I don't know what's going on here, but keep chiming in. We want to get to story.
Thanks for watching us here on the ABC 10 Information Network. If you want to see more stories just like this one, click subscribe.